Welcome to Caution Flag Contemplations podcast, a racing show by the fans for the fans. Welcome in, folks, on this special Memorial Day edition of the Caution Flag Contemplations podcast. First time I've ever done one of these on a holiday. Y'all don't know, but every other podcast I've ever done on holidays, we pretty much always pushed it to the next week. So, but that's just because he didn't try that hard. You know, he just didn't try that hard. But we try hard over here at Caution Flag Contemplations. So, y'all have a good weekend so far?
Oh yeah, it was good.
It was good.
My weekend was over. I had to work today, unlike you fellers.
Yeah, I'm sure they didn't sell any cars down there at the dealership this weekend.
Okay,
Yeah, they're open on. I forgot they were open on the holidays.
Oh,
I had
yeah,
a good
this is-
weekend. Went to cook some pit boss. I did some hot dogs and burgers. And,
I'm jealous.
Watched the racing from Thursday to Sunday, so pretty good
Yeah,
weekend.
I'm sure the wifey was like, "Is this what
yeah.
I married into for real?"
Man. She was
But,
glad they weren't in today.
Yeah, I'm sure she was. Man, D-Watt, you really done an upgrade on your set back there. We're gonna have to change you from
I
the
was saying
guest.
that before we started over there.
We're gonna-
Diecast.
We're gonna have to change you from the guest to something else here. You keep this up. I need to work on mine. I got a spreader back here. I put some shit out in the yard to keep the bugs out of it. We'll see how that works out. All right. Well, I went to Indy. It was a great time. We'll talk about that at the end. I don't want to waste a bunch of time on that. I'm sad I didn't get to cook out this weekend. I forgot JP had to work. I dropped Pops by down there on the way back, and I was like gonna text him and be like, "You better have some burgers ready when I get there." But then I remember he had to work, and if y'all need to buy a car, I'm just gonna tell you, I think bold market prediction from Casper, the host here, this is the week probably to buy one in the next, honestly, probably 5 years or maybe the rest of your life as far as pricing goes. So, if I was y'all, I'd get out there and get on it. D-Watt, you should probably go buy a new one. I know you need to purchase a new one, so just let it be known, Caution Flag Contemplations, Casper is on the side of a new vehicle for somebody, not you. Anyways, all right, moving on. All right, what do we have this week? Show me, just a quick overview of the show this week. First of all, guys, if you don't care, go give us a like, subscribe, follow, share, all that good nonsense. We're doing pretty good on the subscribers. I appreciate that. Appreciate you guys watching, sharing. Give us everything you can. We really enjoy it and help it. It makes it more fun. But basically, quick overview for the weekend here. We're going to talk about Show Me on the Dirt. That's about it, because everything else in America got rained out. And then we did a little NASCAR. They all made it through, all 600 miles at Charlotte for the Cup race included. And then we'll wrap it up with a little Indy 500 breakdown. And we're probably going to have a long, heated debate about the double, I have a feeling. So we'll see how that goes when we get there. But other than that, D-Watt, you want to kick it off with a little Show Me 100 action?
Yeah, Show Me 100. 100 lap feature was on Saturday night. They had some features on Thursday and Friday, but I'll cut to the Show Me feature. So JD took the lead on lap 20, and him and O'Neal were going back and forth. Midway through, there was quite a few cautions that kind of was slowing the show down a little bit. But all in all weekend, very smooth track, not much of a cushion, very wide. They could race the top, they could race the bottom. There's some guys that would get up on the top and get the top rolling and start to make some passes up top. Moran was one of the drivers that really could get going up top and start making some ground. And then Bobby Pierce was
Unfortunately.
doing what he does, and he started there in probably the top.
I think he started 8th.
Top
I think he started 8th.
Started 8th and took the lead with 31 to go, I believe.
Was that over O'Neal or was that over JD?
That was
over O'Neal, I think.
O'Neal, yes. Yeah, JD was dropped back to 3rd, I believe, and then he was struggling, and he had a hard time with some lap traffic. Kind of caught him in bad spots, but he was kind of trying to run the top, and he tried to get to the bottom at times. But so once Bobby got the lead, 31 to go, he took off and was pretty much gone, and then. Davenport got 2nd, and then O'Neal was 3rd. So Davenport was there. He just would catch cars in the wrong spot from time to time. But in the interview afterwards, he was not trying to complain too much. But he was just the lap cars were just giving him a hard time. But all in all, he's going to be pleased with his runs over the weekend. Didn't win any of them, but He ran top
Yeah.
3 all weekend. So
Yeah.
He just
all
needs
in
to
all,
quit complaining.
yeah, he was kind of complaining more than he does usually, but
You know, I get it because like he just he can't finish it. I mean, I'm a fan clearly, but he's been up there. He's kind of like the Chase Elliott of dirt racing, except for he's actually won this year, so not really. I don't know. He's got some wins. Maybe like William Byron's a closer comparison. You know, like he's run really good pretty much every race. Just some of them he hadn't quite got the deal done, but good weekend for him overall. He's only 15 points behind RTJ now, making that up. Just kind of to touch real quick on the Thursday, Friday night. That was, from what I watched some of those as I was not traveling. We watched a truck race here at the house on Saturday night, and I kind of kept up. But it looked like Hudson pretty much just whipped everybody Thursday,
he was good
Friday.
The first 2 days. Very good.
Which sucks because I told y'all last week that I should have picked him for Saturday. Apparently it wouldn't have mattered. Anyways, Word Outlaws drivers don't count in our picks, though, so it would have counted. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I don't know. What did Devin do? Was he pretty good over the weekend? I felt like that was a good track for him.
He was okay. He never was like super good as much as like Hudson and JD were, but he was up in the top 3 or 4 or 5.
I know that that was old D Watt's pick there, and I was like, that's a good one too. Looks like, just for the record, they had like 47 and 47, 51 cars. Like that's definitely a good deal. Obviously not a lot going on, but
they had a 6 heats on Friday or Friday, I believe, or Thursday. They had quite a few heats, so.
I turned it down. I drove down there to get Dad, and I was like on the way back from Chattanooga, and I got back to the house, sat on the couch, and like I said, we were watching the truck race. I turned it, and old D Watt's in there keying up my notes, adding heat races. I was like, "Atta baby, that's what I needed." I appreciate it. You did a great job on that. I really do appreciate that. Obviously, I hope to watch a little bit more than I did this week, but it definitely is helpful to get some help, and hopefully, we can kind of text around, and at least somebody can watch it and get notes. So. Overall, good races over the week for Lucas. Show me, it's such a nice facility out there, man. I was like looking at the suites and stuff. It looks like one of these new baseball stadiums. Like, it's so nice. And I don't know. I like the facility. The track is kind of weird though. It doesn't always race the best. But I think it's one of those where the good drivers come to the front, right? They put on a pretty consistent show there, and the guys that are good there. They said something about Owens was going to try to go, had some issues, didn't make it. Other dirt note, did y'all see Cameron Marlar bought him an Infiniti?
Oh, yeah. I did see that.
The old 57M should be rolling with an Infiniti here. We'll probably see him around here. I would suppose we'll see him at 2 weeks at Smoky Mountain Speedway. Father's Day weekend. If y'all ain't there, you're a bunch of losers, so get over there. We need to check and see if they got the tier reserve parking available yet, and go ahead and get on purchasing that if they do. I'll check into that. But other than that, let's see. What got rained out here, fellers?
North Georgia, Duck River.
They did get one Spring Nationals race in, correct?
Yeah.
At
Casey
Sugar
Roberts.
Creek?
Yeah, Sugar Creek. I watched some of that one as well. Casey Roberts won. Somewhere in my notes, that was win number. I got it written down somewhere. A win number is 84 for his career or something like that overall for all Super Late models. So he's back in the 101 black car. So that looked kind of like what we saw
back in the old days.
Yeah, back in the old days. So he looked good. He led most of that one. The leader had a flat tire early on that night, and then he took over the lead and never looked back.
Hey, I guess whatever works. What was the cars like down there? I was kind of curious. I know they also had that 10,000. They're having that mini point series at
19 cars, and they didn't.
Not terrible.
They didn't have any heats. They just qualified and had a feature.
Did y'all see they had 51 on Friday? Was it Friday at North Georgia? They had 51 topless somewhere.
Yeah, that was Tazewell and Smoky Mountain.
Did they both get rained out?
I didn't.
Here, let me pull it up real quick.
While you're looking that up, I want to mention one thing that didn't get covered at the World 100 or the Show Me 100. I think it was lap 49. Pierce was throwing a slider. I think it was on O'Neill for second, coming out of 4. And I thought Pierce was done for. I don't know how he saved it. He was headed at the wall right there where the opening is in turn 4 at about Mock Jesus. It was a hell of a save there to save it and not absolutely junk his car, and then he went on to win the damn thing.
It sucks he's such a wheelman sometimes, you know. It's kind of like the Jimmy Johnson effect, and which, you know, we talked about last week. RTJ's kind of having that same thing, too. Like, they just win a lot. These guys are good, man. They know what they're doing, and I think that's awesome. All right, touch up real quick on the topless at Smoky Mountain. They had, correct, 51 cars, O&B fast time. Drew Kennedy was on the pole. Drew Kennedy won the dash. Heat race winners were Chase King, Anthony White, Rusty Ballinger, and Hayden Cardwell. I mean, y'all know if you're around here in East Tennessee, Georgia, whatever, this area, this series has been coming for, this is what, maybe the fourth year or something like that?
Yeah.
Fourth or fifth year, and it's done nothing but get stronger. I think the first time me and D-Watt saw him was actually at Mountain View. We kind of met down there that one time, and our boy Corey was down there trying to beat and bang on a quarter mile where he don't belong, and getting in some fights and all that. But they also had that Lane Clifton kid that's pretty good. But the thing that I really like about this, and you know, this couldn't have been possible without the shortening of the Smoky Mountain Speedway. But a lot of these are crate motors in these cars, you know, and you know, to see Drew Kennedy up there, just, I mean, as far as like East Tennessee regional race goes, this is as good as it gets. This is like the throwback to the good old, remember the SRRS Super Series? It was really mostly Steelheads ran that. They raced for like a couple $1,000s. It's throwback to that. $4,000 to win for Steelhead. It's enough for these guys to get out here and spend the money. And then their schedule's pretty good. You know, they don't race all that much, but like this weekend they're supposed to have, I think, 3 or 2. But obviously, I guess they got rained out. But I don't know. It's pretty cool. John Owenby gets the win over Zach Seitz, Drew Kennedy, Ross White, Hayden Owenby, and Dirty White Boy, for those of you know who that is. Hayden Carl finished 7th, Bobby Giffen in 8th, Chase King, Travis Foltz round up top 10. Jed Emmert back in the car. I know last year he was doing the promotions, I believe, for Smoky Mountain. I don't think he is this year, but he's back. I saw in the 98. I did look. Our boy Riley Hickman did not show back up for this topless race. He did race topless earlier in the year somewhere. I can't remember where, but he was not there for that, so that was kind of sad. But yeah, just awesome to see 51 cars show up, and definitely a series to watch. I'll probably try to go Friday to Tazewell this week if I can squeeze it, depending on what we got going on up here. So I've been wanting to get up there this year. They didn't have that one on the schedule. Obviously, that's a rain date, so this Friday might not be a bad deal for me. But we'll see what happens there. If y'all can go on out there and watch some of that. I had that schedule right here. They are going to, we'll finish up on them real quick. 30th there at Tazewell, 4,000 to win, and that's Friday. And then Saturday, they are at Sugar Creek Raceway, which we just talked about, which I did look it up. That is Blue Ridge, I'm pretty sure. Okay. It's in Blue Ridge, Georgia, so I'm pretty sure it was the old Blue Ridge Speedway. So, but yeah. Other than that, they had that $10,000. They're having that $10,000 super like mini point series down there at East Alabama. Y'all seen that? It's like 10 races or something like that. Mm-hmm. Owens has made both of them somehow. I pulled it up too. Dalton Cook got the win. I had it somewhere. Let me see if I can find it. I think I closed it when I went to get that one. But Dalton Cook gets the win, like I said, at the East Alabama Motor Speedway. It's kind of cool, you know, to have the local track pulling the 10,000 to win thing. That was on, I swear I saw it earlier, like 10 minutes ago. Here we go. Pretty decent show, you know, for this little thing. You had Ethan Dotson there, as well as Jimmy Owens, Chris Ferguson, Hayden Cowan, Austin Smith. You know, it's kind of weird. They only had 16 cars show up, but, you know, it's like they keep paying this $10,000 to win. There's not having cars show up because they kind of run against some of these bigger races. Obviously, all these guys were pretty well set to go run that, you know, mini tour for spring nationals, but, you know, probably kind of made the switch, and some of them didn't get down there, but good to see that. Chris Ferguson started in the back, finished up front. He was going to try to race with Southern Nationals and had some kind of issues and motor issues or something like that. I saw he got it fixed up at the father-in-law's shop. So I guess that about puts a wrap on it. We kind of go on a break here for a little bit on the dirt. Lucas, like I said, they race this weekend. Their next race is at Smoky Mountain Speedway, Mountain Moonshine Classic. Y'all planning on going?
I am planning on going.
One night, 2 night?
I don't think we'll go both.
You're just going one. Are you going to go both?
I think so.
Okay. I know you had said one for sure at one point.
Yeah, one for sure, and I think I'm probably going to do both.
JP's probably going to be busy doing a lot more important things that weekend, so we'll see if he's got it in him or not. But I don't know. Other than that, this weekend we have not a whole lot, really. What the front is out there, like I said, Topless Outlaws, that's in this area. That All-Stars Late Models, I think that's Tilly's deal. Northern All-Star Late Models, I believe, at Bloomington for 10K to win. You got that crate race, All-Stars at Beckley, 10K. You have Mars at LaSalle, Hunt the Fronts at Swainsboro, 8 and 15. That Northern All-Stars is at Brownstown as well on Saturday. So, not a ton as far as the national tours go. Kind of need a break. They've had a busy couple weeks given the whole, Illinois Speed Week. Big weekend last week and then turn around and have Show Me this weekend. So they probably could use a week off. But it's kind of weird we get this little lull right here, I guess, on the national stage. You really get up running and it's like there's kind of nothing for a second. So at least for the next few weeks. But like I said last week, World Outlaws will be next up at the Firecracker 100 at the one and only Lernerville Speedway. JP's favorite track on
that's a lie.
iRacing, except that he doesn't race dirt anymore because he's a pansy.
So you should be proud of me. I actually did a dirt official the other day.
This is how you can tell. See, he switches back and forth, but he only switches back and forth whenever he gets wrecked. So
no, I switch back and forth whenever dirt actually has a track. That's
I actually lied. There is a little bit of a race going on, folks. It's just not on the World Outlaw schedule because it's on the dirt car schedule. It's the week, not this weekend, but the next weekend, June 6th. Through 6th and 7th there. Actually, 5th, 6th, and 7th. You know what that one is?
The World one, or the Dream, whichever one it is.
Whichever one it is. So, they'll be up there at the Eldora Speedway in Rossburg, Ohio. I just took a tour through lovely Ohio there Saturday. Had a great time with that. It is the Dream that is up here. So I guess I'll meet y'all up there next weekend. We're just going to race every weekend until my wife leaves me. We'll see what happens. It's been a busy one, I'm telling y'all. But I was, we were driving up there. I saw some signs for some great tracks on our little tour. Terre Haute, I think they got the sprint car track's pretty famous up there. I think I passed Circle City. Like off the side of the interstate.
On the side of the interstate, yeah.
I think I passed it today on the way home, coming back from where we stayed at the hotel in Indy and everything. But I don't know. It just a lot of good tracks out there. Y'all all try to get to them. All right. I guess is this the part where we get into the NASCAR? Let's save Cup for last. Oh God.
I got some watermelon. Fresh Florida watermelon.
It ain't fresh Florida watermelon. You're a Ford fan. You put that bullshit away. You're a Ford fan. You can't sell. I mean, you can wear the hat, but you can't. Like, you're not a Ross Chastain fan. Did you pick that up off the ground first? I just want to be sure you smash that in the floor, stomp it before you eat that.
Oh, man.
That's cute. Yeah, I'm gonna make an honest confession with y'all. I tried so hard after the Indy 500 to make it to the end of this race. I fell asleep. Byron was in the lead. I woke up with Chastain doing burnouts. So y'all gonna have to get me up to date a little bit. I tried hard, but it's a struggle, man. Like, we got up at I probably got up at 6:30 to go to the Indy 500, and it was like laid in the hotel. We got some wings last night. We got the Caribbean jerk. Buffalo Wild Wings, the best wings in America, and it just did it. But let's start here. Let's do this in the right order. Let's hear about the trucks. Right. Then let's do Xfinity.
Corey Heim didn't choke it for once.
Corey Heim, not a choker. You heard it here first from
He
JP.
whooped everybody's ass.
Was it ass whooping?
It was an ass. He swept the stages. Nobody even seemed to care who finished second or top 3 or 5. I watched it live. It was just a whooping. It was a whooping.
We watched it a little bit. We were also watching the Braves because somehow I got the Braves on CW at my house Friday night. Dad was up here, and I was like, well, I guess if it's on here, we're going to watch it. So we watched that, and I was like kind of watching the trucks and showed me on my phone and my little tablet or whatever a little bit. So, but yeah, it looked like he pretty well had him handled. Corey Heim wins over none other than Ross Chastain.
Yeah.
Ross Chastain, I really thought he was probably going to win that race, but like I said, Corey Heim handled it. I was waiting for him to quote, everybody talking about Kyle Larson to, quote, step on his blank and lose it, but he never did. So congrats to Corey Heim there. Definitely looking pretty good for him going in the year. He's for sure the favorite to win. Disappointing run for Kyle Busch there. 5th.
Yeah.
Had some issues. I can't remember exactly what they were, but he had some issues early. Recovered, got back to 5th. Overall, it's a truck race. I mean, it's Charlotte. It's a good track. Like to see some good trucks there. But, Corey Heim finally got it done. He probably deserves a couple more of those. So we'll see what happens with him there. Point standings for the trucks. Corey Heim has a pretty big lead. He is 100 points over Chandler Smith and 110 over Daniel Hemrick. He also has 4 race wins. So he's getting up there to where if he really goes on a strong run through the summer here, I think Kyle Busch is about out of races at this point. So it's like, who's going to come down and try to beat him? But, I don't know what Kyle Busch's most race wins in a truck season is, but, like, he might be ready to push that this year. Based off what he's done, he should probably have, 8 wins? 7 wins? So I think there's only been 8 races, I guess, and he should probably have all of them. But, I guess Kyle Busch did win 1 or 2, so it hasn't been 8. But I don't know. We'll see what happens going forward with them. Xfinity Series. I did not get to watch any of this. We were at the Reds game, which I'll give you all a quick story on that. So my sister, unfortunately, is obsessed with Ellie. I don't even know if that's his name, but De La Cruz, number 44. First of all, 2 things. That kid might be taller than me. I just want to get that out there. Really tall for a shortstop. I mean, absolutely strange. Second of all, he comes up to bat and absolutely just clobbered it like Ronald Acuna style, 427 feet or something, and just mashed it with the home run. I did get her the video of the trot from third to home. The only reason I had time to get the video camera out was because he stands at home plate watching it longer than Ronald Acuna, which is a real problem for those of you who care anything about baseball. But we got to see the Reds get the win over the Cubs. Awesome ballpark. Really nice seats, man. This is what's stupid. We sat on row 5 behind the dugout for like $120 before taxes and fees a ticket or something like that. And you can't, the Braves, that's the outfield. It was pretty wild. Really nice park for being a little dated. I like the flavor that it has with the steamboat atmosphere. D-Watt, you've been there,
I went last year. Yep.
Yeah, super nice park, but really, really nice weather. It was like 70 and sunny. It almost got a little warm, but it was a good time. All right, Xfinity race. I heard this one was pretty much an ass whooping too. Is that also accurate?
Yeah. So I caught the end of it on the radio. Me and the old lady took a little trip to Knoxville. She wanted to do some shopping. Somehow convinced her to go to the K1 speed up there. Had a great time.
If you lose about 70 pounds, you'd probably be faster.
Hey, I would for sure. But so I caught the end of that on the radio on the way home, and Byron was out front. Seemed like he whooped their ass. He won the first 2 stages, and then towards the end of the race, they could not go green. I lost count of how many restarts they kept having.
Yeah,
I don't know exactly what happened with all of them, but they were.
Well, it looks like they had 11 cautions for 53 laps. So there you go. I got that answer for you. Congratulations. Oddly enough, he did win the stages. I would like to point out Allgaier did lead 103 laps. Byron only led 71. So Allgaier must have been pretty good, even though Byron won both the stages. I guess Allgaier was up there. Like I said, didn't get to watch it, but Byron and the Hendrick Cars.com. That 17 car is pretty good. I know, Junior wants Larson to get back in there. This would have been a good weekend because he probably would have wrecked that too. So,
yeah.
Lord.
There's a reason my hat's backwards today.
Yeah. Connor Stillage gets second. No, we support through and through. I was going to wear a shirt, but it was dirty from the race yesterday. So, but yeah, I don't know. Was the Xfinity race better than the Cup race? That's the question I'll ask to lead us into the Cup race here.
No, I don't think so. I think the Cup was way better.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
the Cup race was good. I liked the Cup race yesterday. That was good. I watched
it. Wasn't
6:30 to 11. I watched every lap of it. It was.
It's long. It wasn't a bad race.
Long.
I did watch. I watched from 6:30 to about 10:30. If it ended at 11, maybe. I don't know. That was a pretty bad night for me. I also had the Pacers game on the TV because I was in Indy, and that was kind of a big deal. They were making it to 500. Was the Pacers playing the playoffs, and it was like I flipped it over there, and they had like a 25-point lead, and I turned it off, and they blew it apparently and lost to the Knicks. So they must be terrible. All right, moving on to the Cup race. Yeah. One thing I want to talk about before we got some time. See, we've done good tonight, so we got some time here. How do y'all feel about this stage situation for this race? Like, before the race started, like, not watching the race, how do you feel about this 100 times 4 for the 400 lapper?
That is the stupidest shit ever. It's the only race that all the stages are the same.
Yeah. I don't know. I like to see them be different, or just have 3 long ones.
Yeah.
Something like that.
I'm not a fan of having an extra stage. Do we play a random football game in the middle of the year with an extra quarter?
No.
Okay. Do we play a baseball game with an extra inning for fun? Without being tied, do we just say, "Hey guys, we're going to play a 10-inning game today"? No. Like, you have regulation. Like, it really does matter in the points if you wreck out of this thing early and then you miss by less than 10 points. Like, if you'd have finished and got some stage points, like, that's all it would have been. I don't know. I think that's stupid. I also, I would like to. I was talking to Paul Spell last night, and he pointed this out. Like, what if we ran the second half of this stage, that 300 miles for its own stage? Can you think about that? Like, we don't do that anymore. These guys will be like, like me after, walking up a flight of stairs or something. I don't know. But, like, I'd like to see it. I don't really care so much. I don't love that they added a stage. That's whatever. But still, like, just make the stages shorter. Like, I think that going forward, if NASCAR would listen to a fan, which they won't, but, like, I would prefer to see us, when we do these stages, take the race, cut it in half. Second half of the race should be the third stage to end the race all the time. Like, all the time. Just half of the race. That way you get more than one fuel run. You don't do this stupid, I hate this cut it in half crap. I can't stand it. There's no strategy. I watched the IndyCar race yesterday in person, and, like, it kind of shook out that none of the strategies matter, but there were strategies that you had to watch, and it did actually affect the lead and all this kind of stuff. So, like, I would like to see some strategies at the end of the race. Let's just go half, and then you can do whatever you want. You can run the 20 lap and then 100 lap, then run 150. I don't care, whatever it is, but, like, just half is the third stage. That's how I would like to see it done.
Yeah.
Also, with the race being official, you don't get in this bull crap where it's like we're awarding stage points and race finish points at the end of the race if it rains.
Yeah.
There's also that. So I think that'd be a good thing to look at. I know that the TV wants later commercials because people tune in later, don't really give a damn. Or just don't. It doesn't matter. Prime don't care anyways, I mean, who cares? It's Prime.
Also, the Prime was very good coverage. I like they had
so much better than Fox.
They had Carl Edwards. They had a lot of these. Bain was good on the pit, being a good pit. I thought, all in all, I was very impressed with with the Prime.
Yeah, didn't have to look at no damn cartoon ass characters.
Yeah,
like
no commercials. Only they had the side by side. So that was great.
Y'all keep it up for a minute. I'll be right back.
Okay. All right.
The one thing that me and Pops were talking about that happened later there in the race when Hocevar blew up. It's interesting about being streamed not on national television is now they can say whatever the hell they want. They didn't even have to bleep out Hocevar when he blew up.
He blew up. He was strong. Them two were battling.
Yeah.
I thought he'd have top.
I was hoping he was going to have a chance. I even had a triple dipper from Chili's for lunch yesterday, hoping that he would get it done. But it turns out it wasn't in the plans, I guess.
Yeah. But. All in all, I thought it was a good race. I thought it was one of the best races of the year, possibly.
Yeah, it was very good.
I mean, it was exciting. I watched every lap, and I was in my seat watching it. I was into it.
Yeah, it was definitely a race to watch. I guess Larson just totally forgot how to drive yesterday. I mean, do we need to put him back like in a damn street stock somewhere and tell him to go turn laps until he can't do it anymore?
That may have been the worst day of his career, possibly. I reckon it.
Boys, this is all gonna go in the double section. Let's
okay.
Walk us through the qualifying. All this. Who's on the pole? Give us an overall view of the race. Give us key points, and we'll wrap all that up at the end. D. Watt, you got us.
Okay, so Chase was on the pole, 14 car.
Not Chase Elliott.
Not Chase Elliott. No, but Chase Elliott had the best looking car, I thought. I liked the camo. I liked the red number. I really liked his car.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I think I was like, Casper might not like it, but that's what I was thinking. But anyway, so pole Chase Briscoe. Stage 1 went to William Byron. Stage 2 went to, let's see here. Stage 2 went to
Byron.
He swept.
Yeah,
Byron.
he swept the stages
he swept
in the
them
cup
all.
race too.
Yeah, so he swept all the stages. Kyle Busch spun coming to one of the stages.
Yeah.
Zane Smith took a pretty big hit.
Yeah, he had
straight away.
That car
I don't
was
think he
junk.
had any help from the 88 car. He made it in his interview. He had a little something to say about possible contact. I didn't see that.
There was nothing.
I think he's
I didn't see anything there either. I thought he was being a little bitch.
Yeah. And then in stage 4, though, like I said a minute ago, Hocevar blew up. It's kind of weird. I feel like this year there's been a lot of engine blow-ups. You know, the first couple were, Fords with your boy Blaney over there, but then you had Dinger blew one the other week, and then Hocevar blew one. I feel like it's been a long time since you've seen engine blows like that this often.
One thing about that I'd like to point out is, it was colder than it usually is at 500 or 600, and
probably had them
surely
tuned
nobody's
up.
showing up for a third race on a motor.
Yeah.
At the 600, right? You never know, but, they got to run these engines 3 races now, and, Hamlin was kind of complaining about that the other week, but, I don't know. One thing I want to point out the Hocevar situation is, they kept talking on the broadcast. They're trying to make this, pull with, not Byron, Zilich and Jimmy Johnson, and, I was getting more of the, Carson Hocevar, Jeff Gordon vibes. I really thought he was going to win that race, honestly, until he blew up. I felt like he was fastest, and he was staying patient, trying to work with it, and, I felt like in that last stage he was going to have something that he blew up, obviously. But, second year, Jeff Gordon won his Coke 600, and Jeff Gordon also wrecked a lot of crap for a couple years, and I feel like Hocevar's on that journey. And I don't know, that was kind of the more the comparison I was seeing. I feel like borderline. I'm a little scared to say it, but I feel like he's maybe been the fastest car a lot. It just wrecks it or blows up in this case, but eventually he's going to get it, and I think you guys better watch out. All you people, the Hocevar haters out there, it's time to ride the Dente, baby. Yeah. Ride the Dente.
Hey, I was saying that all day. Hey, you ain't got to bleep it anymore on Amazon.
Yeah. No. We were talking about that too. They let that one go, but they caught something else. I'm like,
yeah. Interesting.
Ride the Dente.
Yeah.
Y'all go to Chili's for lunch. It's a great place. Chili's, you want to sponsor this podcast, I'll just take free lunch.
Hey,
for all three of us.
While you were getting your food there, I mentioned I even had the Triple Dipper yesterday, hoping that he would.
All right, this is a very important segment. This will definitely clip for TikTok. When you get a Triple Dipper, what are your 3? Go.
It depends. So
it doesn't depend. You're a woman. What is it? Pick it now. Hurry up.
The Honey Chipotle Crispers, the Southwest Egg Rolls, and the Fried Mozzarella.
Fried mozzarella, you're a complete, utter piece of garbage. This is so easy. It's clearly the chicken tenders. Obviously, best chicken tenders on the market. It's Honey Chipotle chicken tenders from Chili's. Not even a question. Best appetizer on the market is the Southwestern egg rolls.
They
not
are
even
delicious.
Close to being a question, especially with the avocado ranch. And then you just look down the menu and you're like, oh my gosh, they have burgers on the appetizers? Heck yes. And then you order the burgers because they come with bacon and ranch. Yep. I mean, good Lord. Why are you even doing anything else?
Yep.
Fried mozzarella. That stuff's garbage. I don't really eat those. You know why? One time I went to Applebee's down there close to y'all with the Marche Poo and after work and after I moved to Cookeville. I was back in town. We went down to Applebee's, and I got some mozzarella sticks and puked my guts up. I got food poisoning or something over at the Applebee's, and I can't even put it in my mouth anymore. So
damn.
I'm a little biased. But anyways, all right, other than that, moving on. Stage 4. What happened? So was Byron leading when Chastain passed him, or was somebody else leading?
Byron was leading.
Yeah.
And then Chastain kind of threw a slide. It was clean. He slid him up the wall, up to the wall. And it was as clean as you can get. I mean, you're not going to get much cleaner. And it was like 9 to go, 11 to go.
Something like that.
It was late. It was.
At that point of the race, though, you got to make the move. You got to go for it. So
Joey Logano I'm not going to say he was in the way, but he may have been blocking some air and making it hard on William Byron to make some gains. And if he could have got past the 22 or 20, and they kept saying on the broadcast, like, he's not getting out of the way, he's not dropping down. And I don't know if those two have some history with a couple years ago with whatever.
Joey Logano's just a bitch.
I mean, at the end of the day, like, Joey doesn't like Hendrick. You know, he's had that issue with Larson. Yeah. They did have issue with lap traffic somewhere, too, where he got caught. I don't know that it was Byron. I was thinking maybe it was Bowman at the back. Kind of, I don't know, though. Bowman's not one to block. Maybe it was Byron. I don't know. Joey's just stupid. He don't let people pass. It is what it is on that situation as far as that goes. You kind of skipped one important thing. What happened there to Ryan Blaney?
Got caught in a 3 wide situation. He's on the outside, and it was Suarez and Briscoe. Briscoe slid up a little bit, and Suarez was in the middle, and then bam, the wrong
Take him out.
Time. Take him out.
And then Ryan Blaney ruined 90% of America's day. Hit the 5 in the door on the way down.
I swear it was like slow motion when I saw that happening. I saw Larson duck low, and I'm like, oh no. And then, boof, done for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Blaney looked a little bit like Chad Fincham on that one. Just, hit Bowman for no reason. But no, I mean, it's whatever. You can't get these things woed up and hate that for Larson, hate that for Blaney. Well, I told Pops, I was like, hey, the crazy part is, if they wouldn't have got Larson's car fixed and he was still slow as shit, he wouldn't be anywhere up here. Yeah. But, like, he had finally started making passes and got back up to where he could even hit that. So that just kind of sucks. But, after Larson spent it early in stage 1, that was definitely not a good way to end it for him. Obviously, Ross gets the win, holds it off. What was the paint scheme again? It wasn't Busch. Jockey.
And so he wrecked in practice, and I was watching it live when he wrecked. He had the fastest car in the long run portion of the practice, and so in practice, he was running good, and they were showing him, and then like the next lap after they just they weren't showing him anymore, then he spun around and I don't know if he had a flat tire or what, but he junked. So they would go to the backup. He said they were up till
like 3 a.m.
Yeah,
I wanted to cover that too. So, like, one thing about that is, like, if you're at the track, they have hours the gates close, and the garage closes, and like they said they were at the shop working on it because right across the street, I guess. And I'm like, what? It's kind of weird. So I guess he didn't take a backup car to the track. Maybe nobody took a backup to the track, and they just brought it, race day out of the shop. But it's like, what were they doing till 2:30 in the morning?
Got to get that thing cheated up, son.
That doesn't sound like just wrapping the car. Clearly, they had a really good setup in their primary car, like you said, in the best car in the long run. And, like, say what you want about Trackhouse, myself included. I've been talking a lot of crap about them this year, but Ross somehow has got it pretty well figured out. Yeah. So, credit where credit is due to Ross Chastain. And, Trackhouse has a big deal coming up where they have more drivers than they have race cars next year. Yeah. And, so we'll see what happens there. Ross is definitely locked in for sure. Not only does he have the Busch sponsor, but, he's also, delivers the wins. And, Suarez also does. I don't know what the deal is going to be with 88. We'll see there. But, I don't know. I'm kind of expecting just, like, big prediction from Casper for the future. I'm expecting the Zillage to get farmed out somewhere on contract, probably in Cup, to a different team. He could stay in Xfinity another year, but even then, like, are they going to let him run Xfinity another year and then get rid of SVG? I don't know, because SVG, you give him another year, he's probably going to look pretty good in Cup. I think that they're going to run into a little bit of a situation there on their drivers. Yeah. Suarez is still getting enough done. If they both make the playoffs, like, what can you do, So, kind of curious to see what happens there. They're going to have a little bit of a problem. And maybe they get another charter. Well, they can only have 3, I guess. So, I forgot. You can't have 4 anymore. That's a bunch of crap, too. We ain't going to start about that. All right. So, Ross Chastain wins. Smash the watermelon front stretch. Do a great interview for Amazon Prime. D-Watt's up here eating his watermelon like a loser. And, I have some comments that I can't make on this podcast that goes on the internet. But, I don't know. So, it's a good race overall. 600 out of 10. D-Watt, what's your score out of 10?
Oh, I give it 10 out of 10. I thought it was the best race of the year.
That doesn't mean it's 10 out of 10. That means it's like 9.1 out of 10. We don't give 10 out of 10s.
Okay,
it can always be better.
9.4 out of 10.
especially in a next-gen car. It can always be better. Just want to point that out. All right. Anyways, all right. So Kyle Larson, let's discuss the Kyle Larson situation. So I'll give my quick little Indy 500 deal, then we'll talk about Larson. So I went to Indy 500. Couple things to note. If you go to the Indy 500, you better leave early as shit, pretty much. We left our hotel at 7:20. The race was supposed to start at 12:45. We were 20 miles from the racetrack. We made it to within 4 miles of the racetrack in 20 minutes, sat in traffic for approximately 3.5 hours to go 4 miles. The traffic pattern was jacked up. They didn't have it marked very well. Sorry, Indianapolis, but you really screwed the pooch on that one. But there was some interesting things to talk about in the car. When you have people that might be hydrating in the vehicle to go to the race, there's a lot of people that's got to pee, okay? There's people literally on Interstate 465 getting out, getting beers out of the back of the truck, bringing them in the front of the truck. There's ladies hanging out the window smoking cigarettes. And she was probably drinking some White Claws. Well, first of all, this lady gets out. I guess she had to pee. She just jumped the wall, popped a squat, green avalanche, Indiana tag. So congratulations, lady, for this podcast. You did a great job. She squatted down behind the wall on the interstate and just let it rip. I was like, hey, gotta do what you gotta do. This is Indy. Well, not 5 minutes later, there comes a young man out of the vehicle. Oh. He walks around the wall, and he kept going up to this overpass that we were kind of stuck under. And he pulled his pants down and squatted up against the bridge there at 38th Street. And, I think he was going to let it out. Like, he was going to take a dookie right there on the side of the interstate. But he pulled his pants down and squatted and then looked up, and everybody was looking at him. Like, obviously. Like, you can see him. He's not in cover. And he stood back up, pulled his pants up, walked up the exit to the IHOP or the gas station or whatever, and I guess blew it up, and then came back 20 minutes later, and we still hadn't moved far enough for it to matter. So, it was very interesting getting in there. Parking in people's front yards in that neighborhood. Would recommend 10 out of 10. Don't go too far, but don't go too short either. Just go far enough that you get we walked about a half mile. We went like halfway in that neighborhood right by the track at the front stretch. And we walked like a half mile in, walked pretty much straight to the seats. It is full, 350,000 people.
That's a lot of people.
Yeah, the grandstand's 220 or whatever by itself. It's crazy. If you look at that thing from front stretch to back stretch, I'm sure y'all kind of got better views of it on TV or whatever, but it's so many people. Yeah. And there's a lot of alcohol being consumed.
Oh, yeah.
In case you weren't curious. And, there's a lot of people that go to this race that aren't really race fans. And it's like, yeah, it's a 500 and all that. But yeah, we had a good time. Sat in the front stretch. We sat, right across from Victory Lane pretty much. And I would recommend sitting right around the flag stand. If for the racing part, I'm sure it's better to sit either in the top of turn 4 or in the top of turn 1. But for first time going and anybody that's just kind of a casual observer, like where we sat, there was a screen straight across from us. We could see the race on that really well. And then you're right there, like I said, pits. We were right across from Kyle Larson's pit, which only got used twice. Once he stalled it, and then he wrecked it. So that sucked. But, yeah, it was a good time. So, anyways, we get to the start of the race. Rain comes. We get through all the Indiana and all that stuff. Super cool. All those things, I don't know. It's different there than anything. They did the pageantry. It sounds so cliche, but the pageantry is just different there. And would recommend anybody in the U.S. to go just once and try it, even if you don't like racing. Because, like I said, you don't have to. It's just like a reason to stand around and do some stuff. So I would recommend it. But anyway, so we get this thing started. We push them out on the grid. Everybody's sitting in their cars, and then they bring Alex Rodriguez and whoever else up, and they were about to do drivers start your engines, and they were like, drivers to your cars, and I was like, oh, that ain't good. And so they only did drivers to your cars because it started to rain. Pushed the start back, really screwed it for my boy Kyle Larson. I was doing a little internet research, sitting there like, how long do we get till we got to get out of this car? And to me, it was like they were going to take him out if they sat there another 5 minutes. And then they rolled him, and then the most ARCA shit I've ever seen happen at the Indy 500 happens.
That was D-Watt's pick, by the way.
I'm sorry, Scott. No, he picked Dixon.
No, I thought he picked McLaughlin.
No, he picked Dixon.
Are you sure?
100%.
I thought he said McLaughlin.
No, Dixon had a brake issue, too, before the race started. We'll get to that, too. But,
okay. I thought it was 3 laps down. So
yeah, McLaughlin had this thing where, like...
Here's what happened.
He ran out of town.
You didn't see the TV, right? So, he was over there cleaning off his tires, getting them warmed up or whatever. Mm-hmm. He was good until this one point when he jerked it back to the right. It went a little harder than I think he was expecting. And then he very hardly overcorrected back to the left into the fence. And that was it.
I watched it. Video screen was right across. He just ran out of talent. It's unfortunate for him. Cold tires, cold track. This is probably the coldest Indy 500. I would like knowing last time it was that cold. It was like 60 degrees, overcast. They said the track temperature was like 65 degrees or something. Like, that's crazy for the Indy 500. Yeah. And it made the racing kind of weird, and the tires are really hard. Not wearing, other than one. Somebody did cord one. That was pretty wild to see the cords going down pit road. But, so he screws up. Dixon is like coming down the front stretch, and dude, something popped. Right.
Yeah, his
and I don't know if it was a caliper
rear,
rotor,
like caliper caught on fire.
Yeah, and Dad was like, "What in the hell was that?" I was like, "I don't know." And then started to see him smoking on fire and all that, and he just kept going. I was like, "Okay." So he ends up going and staying out there. They messed with it later, but he ended up having to fix it and was, like I said, 3 laps down or something like that. So sucked for him, but. We get going this race. They run a little bit. Rains. Another caution. They had a 4-wide wreck like on the first restart. So
the
like
first start, Marco jumped it.
So we've run like at this point we run 10 laps and like 10 laps of caution basically, and that was pretty tough. Really didn't get going much better. Have another rain session. Larson finally pits. Stalls at the pits in front of me. I'm like, oh, what a loser. They said he dropped the clutch too early and then shifted to second while the clutch was dropped and it killed it. But so they took him a minute to get him refired. He got off pit road, went to the back. I was like, whatever. And then we have a restart, and he just shifted too hard. And
he downshifted into too far.
Well, huh?
He downshifted too far.
To wreck?
Yes, that's
downshift
what happened.
had nothing to do with wrecking. He just drove in there too
whatever.
hard. Look. Go watch the onboard. They showed the onboard from the other guy's car. I mean, he probably did downshift too, but like they showed the onboard from whoever's car, and like when they go into turn 1, everybody else is like slowing down. He's like, eow, straight down there. I mean, he probably pulled 4 cars on him going in turn 1 on this restart, and I was like, that's not great. Same thing going in turn 2. He whips the nose down there, gets the air, and just absolutely loses it. He knew he was gone. He cut it through the grass, and I was like, well. At least we don't have to worry about him making it to Charlotte. He wasn't making it anyways because of the time, in my opinion. I timed it up. They said he was going to have to leave at 4:07. If you added 10 minutes to that at 4:17, there was 15 laps left. I think they would have pulled him and sent him to Charlotte. But so that just kind of is what it is. But, yeah, had a bad run, and I told Dad right there, I was like, that's probably it for him because he's not good when he wrecks. He's just not, unfortunately. He could have come back and won that thing, but, like, he does this sometimes. Y'all know, like if he has a bad dirt week, sometimes he has a bad NASCAR week and vice versa and all that. So hate it for him. Obviously a lot of pomp, circumstance, money, preparation, all that for everybody into that. But, you know, I think the rain really stressed him out to start with. And the car wasn't as good this year. Like there's just no honestly, other than Pato, there was no relevant McLaren cars. And, you know, Pato's probably a top 3 driver, top 5 driver anyways in IndyCar. So, you know, I don't know. It is what it is. But so he wrecks. We go through the race. They ended up running, like at lap 100, there was 40 laps of caution. And then they pretty much ran it like caution free. There was one more caution, like 137 or something like that. They ran the last 70 laps or whatever, caution free. Super cool to watch the pit strategy and all that. Those cars are absolutely hauling ass, boys. Like, we've been to Atlanta and Charlotte and all that. And like, it's quick in turn 1, but I'm telling you, it is nothing like the front stretch at Indy. Like, they're like, I mean, you move your head, you can't barely keep up with them, you know. But, yeah, so anyways, Pelot and Ericsson end up behind 2 almost lap-down cars, which is so strange to watch as a NASCAR fan. Can't pass them, like, cannot pass them. And Plo kind of pops the move on Ericsson there, and JP's man just holds on and gets the win, riding right there. Wasn't super eventful as far as all that goes. They come around, that was JP's pick.
Yep.
He stole that from Pops, in case you didn't know that. Do you what?
No, I did not.
He had said for like the last 4 days that's who was going to win. Now, granted, he's won 6
4
out of 7 races or whatever, so it wasn't a real stretch. But yeah, he did get the dub there.
That was his first oval win, though.
I understand. He's clearly very, very, very talented driver, so good to see that. But they go out, we watch fireworks, all that. Victory lane shots, milk, and all that. And we walked out, so I got you some stickers on the way. It was a great time. But yeah, so that leads us to the question: double. So I got to watch the double, and then I watched the double on the tablet at the hotel. I have to watch it on the tablet, not the TV, because of Prime. Remember that. So that's kind of a weird thing. Like, a lot of people in Indy were trying to go to bars and stuff to watch this race, and can't watch it on TV. Yeah. You got to have some kind of streaming device. So, like in restaurants stuff, show it. If they have it set up, they probably can, but obviously they may not. So, kind of weird thing to think about. But yeah. So what I want to know is, we're gonna go one at a time. D-Watt's gonna go first because I know what JP's gonna say anyway. So, are we gonna see another double in the next 5 years? And should NASCAR or should NASCAR not leave the rules the way they are as far as the waiver?
Okay, my hot take on that is I say there will not be another attempt at the double in the next 5 years. And I feel like I like the rule with the whole waiver deal. I mean, you need to be there. He's running full-time NASCAR Cup. Those guys need to be there when the green flag waves.
I like it, JP.
I would agree with everything you just said. I don't think it'll happen. And I like the rules. If you're going to race this series and try to be a champion, you got to be at every race.
Well, this isn't going how I thought it was going to. I agree with that. So, from a NASCAR's perspective, you have to do it. I think somebody is going to try it in the next 5 years, but I don't think it's going to be who you think.
You think it's going to be an IndyCar driver?
Well, we'll talk about that. I think it'll be somebody irrelevant, probably. Blaney's talked about it. Bell's talked about it. A Penske driver would be the best option just because they can get a good car.
Yeah.
Ganassi could also hook up with the RCR or something like that. The Ganassi cars, clearly, they just won. I really think if you want to win, you pretty much got to be Ganassi or Penske, though. I mean, if you go back and look at how many they've won over the last 10 years or whatever. So, I don't know. We'll see. I do think, bringing back the IndyCar thing, I think it would borderline be easier for an IndyCar driver to do it. Anybody got any opinions on that?
I mean, yeah, probably. I mean, those cars are so damn fast, and they're such on an edge.
Yeah.
Going from a super light car going 230 mile an hour to a stock car that's only going 180. Yeah, it's at a shorter oval and it takes a bit of different driving style, but it's a lot calmer, and I feel like it would be easier for an IndyCar driver to adapt to a slower, maybe more steady vehicle than going from a damn rocket ship with 4 wheels.
I guess one thing too to point out is like those Indy cars, they're so on edge all the time. I mean, you had some other good guys that wrecked them throughout practice and stuff, and they're just so fast. But like, I'm not necessarily talking about an IndyCar can come in and win NASCAR because I really don't think they can. But as far as running the 1,100 miles or whatever, I think they probably have a better chance of that. They would probably have to do a little bit of riding in the Cup car, but they also would have more opportunities to run some other Cup races on IndyCar off weekends just because the Cup schedule's longer and get more prepared. If they could run a Homestead or Vegas, Charlotte, whatever, Texas, just to get some more time in, I think, they could probably do that and be a little more prepared to do it and possibly have a chance. So I'd be curious to see if any of them ever, try it. Dixon's friends with old Jimmy Johnson now. Helio's obviously run his, Daytona 500 and been around. And I don't know. I'm curious to see what happens. I think the whole double thing, I got a whole lot more respect for Tony Stewart right now than I probably ever have.
Yeah.
Given the drag racing and seeing what he did. And, when you look, I don't know how many times the double has been attempted. Larson did it twice. Stewart did it twice. Kurt Busch did it, I don't know, once or twice. I think Robbie Gordon did it like
Robbie
4
Gordon.
times.
Yeah.
And Stewart only finished it once. That's the only time all the laps have ever been run.
Yeah.
And, like, that's impressive. And obviously you have to have a lot go your way. You know, Larson got screwed with the rain twice near. Unfortunately, this race does see rain fairly often. I'm sure next year, Larson, I'm assuming, in my opinion, is probably not going to do it next year. And I would say that it'll be the sunniest in 75 Indy 500 they've had in the last 20 years. And probably Coke 600 too.
Yeah.
So that's kind of unfortunate, but you know, like you can tell Larson is bummed, man. Like it's a lot of work for him, and like there's a lot of pressure on him to do it. And you know, you get Amazon filming this documentary on it, and like he didn't finish either of the races. What I want to know, B-Watt, do you feel like the reason that he spun early or hit the wall early and then spun, do you think he was pushing too hard after the disappointment at Indy?
That's what I think. I feel like if I just wrecked my truck and then I was needing to go drive some other car to Florida, for example, like mentally, I think it was maybe in his head. He hit the wall a few laps earlier in that Cup race. Pretty good. I feel like he sideswiped it pretty good, and then just a couple laps later just lost it, and then.
Yeah, I think he's out there was like trying to prove it to the world. They're like, I got it.
He was driving pissed off. I mean,
he had a 4-second lead. There's no reason to hit the wall, right? Like, I don't know.
He was
that's
driving
kind of unfortunate.
pissed off. I mean, let's be real. Like,
I mean, you could tell. And I'm curious to see what happens. I feel bad for whatever sprint car track he shows up at because y'all are probably about to get waxed. I don't know. Maybe this will be enough. Maybe he'll quit doing the Indy thing. Maybe we'll see him in a late model next year. That'd be fine with me. I don't know.
Bring it on.
I'd love to see him in a late model. Obviously, I'm still a proponent of that. I'd love to see somebody try the double. I'd like to see, I'd really like to see an IndyCar driver try it. You know, if we could ever somehow, with Monaco moving, maybe there won't be a race next year for F1, and maybe old Maxi Max can get his little tampon out and come on over here and run the Indy 500 and the Coke 600. Same day, if he's the best driver in the world, we'll see what he's got, And if he outruns Larson, I'll say he's a better driver than Larson.
Here's what I will say that I was actually talking to Pops with earlier. Yeah, the double's cool, but I am honestly more interested for the damn Mexico street race to see how he does in the Cup car.
Who?
Max.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, because he's running, 33 car?
Yeah.
Something like that for RCR, maybe?
No, it's the that weird Trackhouse kind of car or whatever.
Oh, Project 91?
Yeah, that one.
Okay. Somebody's running a 33 car. Is that Suarez? Somebody's running a 33 car down there, but that might be Xfinity. I can't remember. We'll see. We're getting there. We're not there yet. We'll get there. But, yeah, that'll be cool. I'm excited to see what Max has got. Hopefully Larson beats him, but Larson better be on his tippy toes because right now he's not looked like a good driver. And I also, because I'm a Larson fan, need to go ahead and dump on his head. Whenever he said the thing about McLaughlin being an effing idiot and then gave him a thumbs up, I don't think that's the real Kyle Larson. I think it was pretty dumb. I don't think he normally acts like that, but I think because I know that he doesn't normally act like that, really, I think that was a moment of weakness for him, and I think that should show you how much pressure he's under. Obviously, he has his famed iRacing moment of weakness, and I think this is, he's not going to get suspended or anything for that, but it's pretty similar. He lost it. He's super stressed. He needed that race to go green.
Yeah.
And then this guy wrecks in the warm-ups. That doesn't happen. The only time I've ever seen that happen, I think, in, asphalt was at Pocono. One time we were watching a Pocono on a Friday afternoon, and some idiot, wrecked it, heating the tires up, too, on the backstretch in an ARCA race. And I was like, good God. But, I don't know. I think the double's done for a while. I'd like to see Blaney or somebody like that from Penske try it. Obviously, D-Walt will be excited. So, well, you got your trip scheduled for next year? You going to go, or...
Oh, it'd be cool to go. It'd be a cool experience.
You better buy your tickets tomorrow if you want to spend less than $500. Oh, no, I think it'll be empty next year, honestly. I think Larson not being there and all that. We'll see. We'll see what happens with it. The Fox coverage is not going to help IndyCar.
No, the Fox.
From what I'm seeing on the internet,
Dude.
I can stand it, but it is what it is.
They were getting torn a new one about using the AI crap.
Well, AI is great. America's great.
Well, they did an AI video about Michael Strahan driving the pace car, and this is one of the dumbest damn things I've ever watched in my life.
Well, I was also disappointed that Johnson didn't put Tom Brady in the wall. Tom Brady got booed so hard.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
Whose idea was it to bring Tom Brady and Rob Gronkowski to Indianapolis? You all know how much the Colts hate the Patriots? Like, we're listening to the radio on the way in, and they were like, all right, Tom Brady driving the Grand Marshal or in the two-seater. Next year, it'll be Satan. Like, they put, saying that Satan will be better than Tom Brady for them in Indy, and like they hate him. He got booed every time he showed his face on the screen. Every time, instant boo. So that was wild. All right, I guess we're gonna make some picks. JP won the picks last week with the Pelot pick. Me and D-Watt went 0 for 3. It is what it is. So anybody know what they got for this week? Or y'all want me to go first?
I'll go first.
All right, do one. We're gonna go on. We'll do round
one at a
robin
time.
on this, baby.
One at a time. Okay. My
do
first
what,
pick. I'm gonna make a pick for my buddy old Dylan J. Jones from iRacing. There, we're gonna take Lando Norris to win the Spanish Grand Prix.
Is that this week?
Yeah.
They're running 2 weeks back to back in F1.
Yep.
Odd. All right, D. What?
All right, I'm gonna go with Nashville. I'm gonna go with Chase Elliott to get the win Sunday night.
Yeah, that's shit's not gonna happen. All right, I'm gonna go. Or cut. What is even racing for NASCAR this week?
Everything.
Nashville.
Are they all?
Yep.
Friday,
Are they all?
Sunday. Nashville.
They're all at Nashville.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Let me look at this dirt schedule. See if I can't cherry pick one out of y'all before we get there. Hunt the front at Swainsboro. Give me Jimmy Owens. Saturday.
Okay.
Got to be specific on the nights, I suppose. All right. JP, you're again.
I will go with the truck race for my second pick. We're going to take Stuart Friesen.
Okay, good.
Yeah, that's not going to happen either. All right, D. What?
All right, Xfinity, Nashville. I'll go with Taylor Gray.
Just because you bought his shirt? What a
Yeah, I
loser.
got bought.
All right, I'm going to go Nashville, Xfinity. I'm going to go Zilich, I believe. JP, wrap it up with your third one here, sir.
My third and final pick for the week will be the Cup race. And we're going to take the hometown hero, Josh Berry.
That's actually a solid pick, in my opinion. Although they hadn't run that good on mile and a half here as of late, so we'll see what happens. Also, good point by the teardown today. None of these Penske cars are going to be cheating for the rest of the year, so remember that. D. What you got?
Hunt the front. I'll go with Saturday night. I'll go with Corey Hitchcock.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
We all hope so.
Oh,
I'm also...
He hasn't been doing too good, so maybe we'll get it turned
He
around.
needs to pull it together this year.
I borderline think he needs like a motor or some chassis work or something. I don't know. He has done actually good this year. To give him his credit where his credit's due, but he did not look good that last weekend.
You know what I think
seen
he
him
needs
race.
to do that he hasn't done at all this year? He needs to do some damn crate races.
I think that he's making the adult step to move into full-time supers, and you can't just go back and play on the playground all the time. So I give him credit
he
for
needs
that.
one or two a month.
You need to quit crying
to keep his
and just
mojo.
deal with it. Yeah, well, all right. Let me check this dirt schedule. I think I got an option here for the Friday. See, Crate Racing USA 604 is at Sonoa. That could also be an easy one to try to cherry pick one, probably. Mars at LaSalle. You know what? I'm going to take... I don't like... It makes me feel sick to think about it. Y'all know who I'm going to say. LaSalle. 25K.
Oh.
If you say fucking Bobby Pierce, I'm not coming back next week.
Booby Pierce. That was easy. Well, that's guaranteed win right there for sure for old Casper.
It's
We
okay, I got a
mark that one
guaranteed
down.
win too, so you're screwed.
Which one?
F1.
Norris? Yeah,
Yeah.
Norris pick was kind of dirty. I'll give you that. D-Watt really, I mean, he's putting the home run swing here. Chase, here's the thing about Chase. Listen, I was
You
telling,
like that pick?
I'm good with it. Here's the thing about Chase. He has somehow got to figure out how to get in the top 5. He can finish in the top 10.
Yep.
I mean, he's 4th in points, only 84 points back, with no wins, no stage wins. I mean, got like 0 playoff points. Him and Tyler Reddick are the only ones in the top 10 with no playoff. Well, Tyler Reddick, and Alex Bowman, only ones in the top 10 with no playoff points. Kyle Larson's up to 23 playoff points. You know, he's really doing his work there. Byron as well with the 6 stage wins. So, you know, it's time to if you want to have a legitimate shot at the Final Four here, you better make some runs. Also, real quick thing, just remember, everybody coming up, we're going to start this bracket thing. They're going to do this bracket thing at the end of this Amazon stuff, going into the TNT. We're going to have like a playoff. It's week by week knockout 1-on-1 drivers. We're going to have a group for the podcast on the contest. Y'all be looking out. I'm sure I'll win that. I'll probably come up with some kind of nonsense trophy or something just for craps and giggles, and we'll see what happens. So y'all be sure to tune in for that. Other than that, y'all have anything you need to tell us about this week that you got going on that we need to be paying attention for?
Not too much, no.
No.
All right, we always be sure to check out D-Watch TikTok app something.
I guess I got one thing. It's nothing about racing really. So I got my last race I'm going to run in. I signed up 4 months ago. It got rained out. So anyway, long story short, last race done running. I'm gonna do more. I'm gonna do a full-time TikTok and podcast on here, and
oh god,
running's done, and I'm just gonna grab my microphone and
JP, you know what's about to happen. We're about to get left in the dust.
Oh yeah.
You know what happens when old D-Watt grabs it by the horns?
Oh yeah.
Everybody better look out.
Yeah.
I know how this works. Well, there's nowhere to start your own, and hopefully you'll have us on. I'll try not to eat pizza on your podcast on your mind. But just kidding. Stay on here.
I will.
You can just talk. If you keep it up, we might make you the host, and I'll just come in here and bullshit. That'd be fine with me. So, other than that, thank y'all for being here. Thank y'all for watching the races. Hope y'all had a good weekend. Good to catch up. Y'all have a great Memorial evening. We're done at 8:10. JP's going to go get his ass whooped in some iRacing probably. And D-Watt's about to hopefully go see his wife because he's been watching race cars for the last, 72 hours. So she's probably about ready to beat him. So good luck with that. Good luck with your race. You said is it Saturday?
Yeah, Sunday afternoon.
Yeah.
It is the McKee Bakery's putting on a race in Collegedale. So
they gonna give you some little Debbies at the end?
Last year they did. So
see, that's perfect. Oh, they can't do it on Saturday because Seventh Day Adventist. Okay.
How long is this race? Is it a 5K or
7 miles? So they had a 5K option or a 7 mile run. So I signed up for it probably like last year or something, and so now it's finally here.
Well,
so I wasn't gonna do the makeup, but I was like, I'll just do it. And
I think this is appropriate, They'll be done running, and then you can start sitting around on a desk all day and start eating, and, we'll get you looking like a married man. So, hopefully we'll have JP headed that way here pretty soon. All right. Well, it was nice to know y'all. Have a good weekend. Tell your girlfriend or wives to listen. Like, subscribe, share. We'll catch y'all on the other side. We appreciate you. Let's see if I can find the credits. And hammer down. Kyle Larson stepped on it for show this weekend, boys.
That's why the hat's backwards.
Thank y'all for listening to the Caution Flag Contemplations podcast. Our theme music is Hard as Steel by Alex Productions. Thank you all for listening. Hammering down. Find a good race to watch. We'll see you next time. Like, subscribe, share, comment. We're going to go out of business if you don't. Love you.